Hey guys, it's 7 and today we'll be talking about a mass hysteria build. Basically, my build is built around just having either hallucination darts or being able to cause hysteria, which is basically the same effect as hallucination darts. You really need one item really to do it, but it would be best to have all three just so you have as much chance to apply it as much as possible. And it's more of a playstyle kind of thing you gotta do. So, what does that mean? Well, important targets. We're talking, sometimes you might attack a brute. Sometimes you might attack a guy that's using just swords. It really depends on what's in the area at the time. But, you need to learn how to pick your targets. You can't just be shooting willy-nilly at anybody. You need to figure out who you're going to shoot and when you're going to shoot them. Remember, timing's always a thing. You shouldn't know the amount of time your status lasts. So, keep that in mind.
First, we're going to talk about my loadout and what I use. So, the first thing we have is the water katana. We're really using that for the destroying guards and, well, really any guard. If it works on shieldmen, it's going to work on anyone else. It's just the best answer, and it does really good DPS. Way of the Flame is really use that for a added DPS, just a dot damage you can apply. You've got Burning Sword, sure, but it's not guaranteed, and if you need something guaranteed, you use Way of the Flame. The next thing we use is the blowgun. We're using hallucination darts on them. The reason we're using hallucination darts on a blowgun is so that we can cause hysteria from range. We don't want to do, sometimes we don't want to assassinate something. Sometimes we don't know what we're getting into. And so we're going to need to shoot an important target, maybe an Oni of some kind. I usually attack brutes or spearmen. But we need to hit an important target without worrying about needing to get an assassination, because they're not always guaranteed. Even if you spec a lot of damage, it's not always guaranteed. The next thing we use is the assassination charm with hysteria. The main reason you use that is because if, let's say, we need to or we want to cause the whole group to fight each other. Remember, I found this out recently. The enemies do more damage to each other when, let's say, they're inflicted by kami energy. They do more damage to each other than we would do without that kami energy. So sometimes that helps out a lot. Having them fight for you while you're fighting another enemy is always good. And if they can help you tag along, do it. The main thing though you want to keep in mind when you're doing this build, and I know I'm going on a little tangent here, is that even though they're helping you, they're still your enemy. So it's like you still got to keep them in mind when you're fighting. But it's like saying, okay, they're mine, but they're not mine. Is like I gotta keep my eye on them, but I don't have to focus as much on them as I do on the red bar enemies. Alright, next we have the Sanjo surprise. Alright, so it says 15% chance, so it's not a lot, but there's a chance that you will cause hysteria on any enemy that you hit with that. It's got a wide shotgun radius, but it's not guaranteed. That's why I have Rancid on there. Rancid is strictly so, let's say I don't have the room to shoot a weakening dart. I have the ability to cause that off of my Sand surprise, and it's in a wide area. I don't have to worry about getting a precision hit. I legit just throw it and it's gone. Now, the one issue that I have with it is that it doesn't have too much range, but it's big enough that I can hit more than one enemy. So, I'll take what I can get, and it can also help with guarding enemies, so, this is what it is. Next thing is Mr. Yugata. Now, you don't necessarily need this, but I use that for a way to sustain myself. Sometimes, I'm down, I don't have any way to heal myself off of ammo or arrow holding areas. I don't have any healing drums around. I need something to heal myself, and so that's why I use the Mr. Yugata. Do I have to use that? No, but it's something that I really like. So there you go. Now we're gonna go on to techniques. For the first part of my techniques, I chose the vanishing smoke that gave everyone a stealth. The main reason I chose that is, for one, everyone else can get an assassination or do critical strike damage. The next part is because I don't use venom smoke, because I don't really do stagger damage a lot, and so it's not really going to help me to have venom smoke when I can easily just use vanishing, regular vanishing. Now, the second thing I chose was super strike. Super Strike is good for, let's say I need to assassinate an enemy in the middle of the other enemies. Well, if I'm gonna do that, I can easily get more hysteria out there. I can easily take out an Oni. I can easily take out well, Spearmint Oni. You know, if I need to do this, I can, right? So it's like, that's why the main reason I use Super Strike. The main reason I use the faster stealth attack. If I'm going to assassinate somebody, I don't want to have to do like a couple taps on the side and then to the neck. I'd rather just go for the neck, right? And then, because I went for the neck, I don't have to worry about, you know, staying on the longer animation. Silent running is good, but that's more for like a beginner assassin. Which is why I don't know why it's at the middle row. The more damage on assassinations, this isn't a stagger build. And stagger takes way too long, to be honest, especially in the heat of battle. If you're playing survival, you really can't use it, but you can use an hysteria build, unless you're doing immunity. But there's no real reason to run the other two with the hysteria build. There's no way to actually use that, because for one, it takes too long, and for two, you're not trying to stagger them, you're trying to cause them to fight each other. And the last one I use is the double legendary. That's really just because of my Mr. Yugata. You don't really have to use that, like I said before, but if you want to follow my build completely, then you gotta use the double legendary. I'm sure one of you is probably asking, why don't you use Heaven's Sting? Well, here's the thing. I told you about picking your targets. I don't want to shoot a brute, a human brute, right? And for whatever reason, you know, I want him to fight the enemy like he's a shotgun brute, right? I don't want him to just drop out of nowhere, because I shot him with that thinking he was going to be an hysteria. That works on every dart, not just one. Every single dart. And that's why I can't take that chance. Even though it doesn't happen all the time, there's always the chance that it could. And it's like, that could ruin my plans altogether. So that's the main reason I don't use Heaven's Sting. So let's go over game plan. What are you? Well, you're after the main important targets, which could be an Oni Brute, it could be an Oni Spearman, it could be a Tengu Spearman, it could be a Tengu Archer. Tengu Archers are really good at escaping, so I can easily keep them constantly hallucinated so they can deal damage for me. Tengu Spearman, do Shotgun Bird, no, Machine Gun Bird, and Machine Gun Bird hurts a lot. The only problem is they don't always use it, well, against their allies, right? But when they do, it does a lot of damage, and so that's one of the bigger things for me. Let's say there's no Oni in the area, and who am I looking for then? Well, a captain. Captains are the guys that have the all armored up suit. You know they're captains when they have their little masks and stuff on. If it's not a captain, it's a brute. Is it a shotgun brute? Is it a shield brute? I'm always thinking about that. A shotgun brute is purely damage and he's beefy. A shield brute is really tanked out, but his damage isn't the best thing in the world. The thing is, everything can beat on him, or that shield brute's gonna constantly block everything around him. And so it's always helping me out, and I can take out the enemies around him as he's fighting. What else do I do when I'm doing after I've caused my hysteria? Well, let's say I'm not taking myself out of the battle completely. So let's say I get like an Oni or whatever, you know, I hit him with the hysteria. And is it my main target? Maybe. I don't know yet. And so, if he is, I might shoot him with a weakened dart. If I think he can do a lot of damage on his own, maybe it's one of the Onis, the brute Onis that causes a spin attack where it does a giant AoE explosion on the ground, I'm gonna shoot weaken around him. Maybe I want to kill that Oni brute, so then I'll shoot the weaken on him. And so you always got to think, what am I after in any situation? How can I make this work best for me? And so that's why I use. This is my game plan on that idea. That's my thinking. That's my my plan, my goal. The hysteria build you can use it solo. The thing is, you've got to plan out every situation. You don't have to do so much planning like, okay, plan A, plan B, plan C. No. When you're fighting and you see opportunity, you need to take it. You know, just I mean, that's kind of rules for life when I say that, but like, you know, when you see an opportunity, take it. That's all you need to do, and that's how I use this build constantly. I know I've seen a couple of assassins they've used hallucination darts, but I've never seen them to the point the way I use it. So it's not like won't ever see an assassin using hallucination darts. Everyone's probably got an assassin with it, but it's fully spec'd into it, dude. It is nasty, especially because it's like not having any aggro on you at all, and it's really really good for that reason alone. But yeah, that's it. If you got any questions, leave it in the comments, and I will certainly try to get to them. Also, if you think I can improve my build in any way, or you may have an idea for another build, then leave it in the comments. I'd love to try it. I don't have everything, I'll be completely honest, but if I do, I'll certainly try it, and I'll leave a message. Thanks for watching.